The fact that they're just saying, well, they applied for an increase, just to kind of match inflation is complete crap.
Consular General Tom Clark was set to attend committee Tuesday to respond to questions about the $9 million condo that landed in his lap. However, he may have been watching what the Conservatives did to global affairs last week, because it was learned today that he declined the invitation.
Let's take a look. Consul General pulls out of committee appearance over $9 million luxury New York City condo purchase. We haven't been given any reason why, a Conservative MP said, but Global Affairs says Tom Clark plans to appear before the committee at a later date.
Ottawa. Canada's Consul General in New York, Tom Clark's testimony at a House of Commons committee studying the purchase of a $9 million luxury condo is up in the air after Conservatives say he pulled out from a planned appearance Tuesday. The party's ethics critic, Michael Barrett, told the National Post that Clark's office has agreed to appear at the House of Commons Committee on Government Operations on August 27th to discuss the new official residence, but pulled out at the last minute. Quote, there was an 11th hour advisory that he wouldn't be appearing, and that's why his name doesn't appear on tomorrow's notice of meeting, end quote, says Barrett. Quote, we haven't been given any reason why, end quote, he added.
The Government Operations Committee, known as OGO, known as the Mighty OGO,
that's right,
is holding its third meeting to discuss the purchase of the new official residence on Tuesday. For now, only 2 real estate professionals from New York are set to appear by video conference. NDP MP Taylor Bachrach said there were several comments made at their last public meeting that indicated that Clark was expected to appear at their next meeting. Quote, so I was a bit surprised to see that he wasn't on the agenda, end quote, said Bachrach. Global Affairs Canada, or GAC, said that Clark was unavailable on the date that was initially proposed, but plans to speak to the committee at a further date. Quote, he has indicated he is happy to attend, and work is underway with the committee to find an alternate date, end quote, said GAC spokesperson Jean-Pierre J. Godbout in an email.
GAC also refuted claims that Clark rescinded his attendance, saying that they received the invitation on August 8th, and the clerk of the committee followed up on August 14th and 21st. In the end, the department said it responded on August 22nd, noting that Clark was unavailable for the following week. Sources on background said that it was their understanding that Clark is on leave this week, but an employee at the Consulate General of Canada in New York mentioned on the phone that Clark was present in the office and offered to pass the message to his assistant. A representative from the consulate then contacted the National Post by email to say that all questions about Clark's appearance should be directed to GAC.
Bachrach said that his experience from being on committee is that there are sometimes legitimate reasons witnesses can't make it on a given day, but other times there are political games at play that prevent someone from testifying. Quote, I like to give the benefit of the doubt, but if efforts were being made to prevent certain witnesses from appearing, it wouldn't be the first time, end quote, he said. Liberal ministers are currently at a cabinet retreat in Halifax where they are focused on fairness and Canada-US relations. They made a series of announcements including a reduction in temporary foreign workers and slapping tariffs on Chinese-made electric vehicles. Barrett said he is prepared to issue a summons to require Clark, a former broadcaster, to appear at the committee to testify about the new official residence.
Quote, Justin Trudeau wanted him to be his man in New York City, and they just spent $9 million of Canadians' hard-earned tax dollars during a cost of living crisis, with 1 in 4 Canadians saying that they're going to need to use food banks this fall, end quote, he said. Quote, Mr. Clark must come to committee, and that's why we'll issue a summons requiring him to appear, end quote. During the last committee meeting, GAC officials argued that the recently purchased luxury condo represents, quote, significant financial savings, end quote, in the long run. They also said that Clark did not influence the government's decision to purchase the piece of real estate. They said that the former residence is now listed on the market for over $13 million, $3.9 million higher than what was paid for the new residence, and that the new purchase meant avoiding $2.6 million in renovation costs and $115,000 in annual operational fees. If you saw our committee live stream regarding these figures, you'll know why that's not necessarily the truth.
In total, they estimated that the new residence would in fact represent up to $7.4 million in savings for Canadian taxpayers. The important note on that figure is that is over a period of around between 20 and 50 years. Just so everybody understands that. That's not an immediate savings. Conservative MP Garnet Jennis said it is disingenuous on the part of the officials to project cost savings based on the asking price of the former residence, and that the current situation meant that taxpayers are on the hook for 2 residences at a time. The government has also been under fire for raising the threshold of Treasury Board approval for official residence from $4 million in 2006 to $10 million in 2022, which meant the new condo in New York was not scrutinized by the department. An official for Treasury Board said the jump happened because GAC had taken a quote-unquote very long time to apply for an increase for purchases, and it was adjusted to inflation.
I don't think inflation went up 2.5 times in the past, what was that, 16 years?
Well, so this is garbage. And like that response is a flat out lie. And I know that because I know of agencies that have applied for funding because their funding hadn't been adjusted since 2000, early 2000s. And as a result of inflation, like there was no top up. So, and then they went back and said, hey, can we at least get an adjustment based on inflation? And they were flat out told, no, we don't do that. So the fact that they're just saying, well, they applied for an increase, just to kind of match inflation is complete crap. And the other thing that's missing from that is, again, you'll see in our committee, what was told was that, Global Affairs Canada has its limit reviewed regularly. And it was only in 2022 that it was decided, now an increase is needed. Yeah,
if my memory serves me correctly, they said it's reviewed every 4 years, but it's not necessarily increased every 4 years.
So all of a sudden, like 2006, and now all of a sudden in 2022, now's the time to do it?
Yeah, so theoretically, if my memory is correct, they would have had a review in 2018 where they said, no, let's keep it at the 2006 level. But then when they reviewed in 2022, all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, we need to increase it by a factor of 2.5.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Right before they want to buy this $9 million condo.
Right.
That's interesting. So it's also interesting that this guy is basically saying, I never said I was going to come. And Tanya and I were talking about this earlier today when I said, he's not coming. And she said, well, can they summon him? And I said, he's not a minister.
So according to this article and according to Mr. Barrett, it sounds like they can summon him, and it sounds like they will summon him. So hopefully Canadians will be able to get some answers. Yeah, because if this guy indeed had nothing to do with this, then why not appear before committee and just say what you would say? Well, didn't really have anything to do with it, so I'm not sure what you want me to say here. Because he doesn't want to have to face the Conservatives and their questions.
Right. That's basically the firing squad. So anyway, folks, so we still will be live streaming on Tuesday, August the 27th. So that will most likely be at around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out for the live stream post when it goes up. But when Tom Clark does decide to either come back or when he is dragged back by the OGO committee, we will be sure to be live streaming that committee meeting as well. So stay tuned, because it sounds like things are going to get interesting.